All right, welcome to Tactical Tailor. I'm G.W. Ayers. I'm the Director of Sales for this establishment, and welcome to the factory. This is where what we like to say the sausage is made. So we're in the anteroom here because where all the visitors come. They get a little chance to see some of the products that are on the wall. And right behind us here is the bullpen. And where the bullpen is, if you call in to make an order, chances are Andrea or Joe will take your order for you. And also all of our internet orders are also processed here. So basically, this is the tip of the spear for customer service. So if you wanted to, if you need to call in and get something done from Tactical Tailor, this is a place where you're going to start your business. Okay, so if you'll follow me, we'll go on in and start a factory tour. As you come in here, this is administrative offices. Not too much is interesting here. So we'll just start where what I like to call the reality coupler. This is the distance between where where management and the actual nuts and bolts of things that happen in Tactical Tailor occur. So moving through this, we're going to go into the warehouse. We have 55,000 square foot of warehousing and manufacturing space. And we'll ship anywhere between 300 to 500 packages domestically and 300 to 500 packages to APO, FPO every week. And those numbers can balloon up in the holidays and during the war-fighting seasons in Afghanistan and in Iraq. So this is the pick, pack, and ship area. And right here is where all the product that comes in on the internet or a phone order comes in to be picked, packed, and then shipped out to the customer. One of the other things that you'll notice about this warehouse that you don't see in a lot of other warehouses is product ready to ship. In Tactical Tailor, we try to have 50 to 100 of every item standing by for our customer to be able to get very quickly. Now, with everything, you're going to be out of certain items, especially the popular ones. And during the fighting season, we tend to run out of a few things. So, but with Tactical Tailor, we try to have items that are very popular in the pipeline at all times in order to be able to adequately supply the customer. Our shipping department is state-of-the-art. It's also computer generated and computer queried so that the product is the right product that goes in the box and it goes to the right customer every time. As you can tell, we stock the majority of the camouflage colors that are popular today: Coyote Brown, ACU, Multicam, OD, and Venerable Black. Everyone likes black is the new black. This is our bulk packing and shipping area, and that small package over there that goes out to individual customers, and this is the packing area where we build things that go out to the government, large pallet formations. So that's run by a couple people here that are really good at what they do. This is the hardest working employee we have at Tactical Tailor. Our injection molding machine is always working, pumping out the malice clips that our customer is very familiar with. So every 45 seconds, 4 more clips will be falling out of the machine and into this bin, and we're able to put those very quickly onto Tactical Tailor products and save the customer time and money. It's a completely green system, which means that any waste that the robotic arm pulls out of the mold goes back into a grinder and back into the system so we don't have any waste. We manufacture these malice clips in 3 different colors. We have Coyote Brown, Foliage Green, and the black that you saw in the bin there. We also have 3 different size machines for different projects. Obviously, the bigger machines are going to do the bigger projects. We own this process from inception all the way through the engineering process to actually molds and things falling out of the end of the machine. And a good example of that is our lanyard. People told us forever that we couldn't mold this piece. It had to be extruded. And I'm not the smartest guy on the planet, but I didn't know what all that meant. But our molding engineer is pretty intelligent, and he figured out the way to be able to build a mold be able to save us quite a bit of cost so we could pass that cost savings on to the customer with the same braking strength, but be able to own the process and not be dependent on another supply source to get this product out to us so we can get it to the customer. So we own that from front to rear. Now this machine's making a longer version of the shorter malice clip that you saw earlier. Once again, a staple of Tactical Tailor's attachment system since day one. So we've owned the patent on this thing, and we sold about 4 million clips last year, which wasn't bad. That's not including what we put on our own product and shipped out to the customer. I've never warrantied one of these, ever. So that's a pretty good record, I think. As you can see, the robotic arm is going to throw the sprue back into this box, and then an operator is going to come out here and regrind the sprue into this, and then we'll mix it 3-to-1 into 3 parts new product of 1 part regrind, so that it doesn't affect the integrity at all of the plastic piece that's being injection molded. You can see here, we got some plastic cases that were ordered. We shot the plastic off last week, and then we're going to finish up those cases here in the next week or so. One of the things that are big changes in the last 5 years is the amount of raw goods that we stock. When I first started working here, we only started with about $6,000 to $8,000 in raw goods at any one time. And we found that as our business increased, it was most important to have the materials on hand so we could flex and meet the customer's need in a timely fashion. That allows us to maintain the industry-leading lead times that we currently have. So right now we're looking at about $2.5 million in raw goods sitting, waiting for the government or individual purchaser to say, I need 100 of these or 200 of those, and whatever popular camouflage of the time. So you can see we have black, coyote brown, ACU, Ranger green, closed cell foam, open cell foam, mesh, plastic. All these raw goods are standing by, ready to go. At Tactical Tailor, we use 2 different kinds of custom cutting tables. We use the Eastman single ply cutter and the Gerber multiply cutter. And the reason why we do that is each one of those has features that are very beneficial for the manufacturing process. The single ply cutter is not only is it very accurate, it's a low yield waste, so we're in the single digits for waste on this. It's very efficient, allows us to save money and therefore pass that savings on to the customer. It also has an airbrush that marks the material so that we're not actually measuring where buckles and webbing goes on the piece as it's being manufactured. It allows it to be very, very accurate. And these cutting machines can cut all the things that I mentioned before: plastic, nylon, mesh. And it can cut any of the materials that we use in our manufacturing process, and they're all cut here. The multiply cutter here is made by Gerber, and it'll cut up to 3.5 inches or so of Cordura. We really don't know what the manufacturing impact of this machine is, but what we do know is this machine will cut in 1 day, which those 2 machines will cut in a week. And what that equates to is greater volumes, our ability to flex and meet the customer's demand in a very quick manner. Going back here to the production area. Hi, ladies. What you weren't able to see before was that our webbing cutting is also automated. Everything's automated here to make it faster, more accurate, and just more efficient all the way around. There's very little waste. all these workers here are, they have access to 401k plan, medical and dental. We're very happy. We have very little turnover here. Matter of fact, we just hired 70 people in the last 90 days. We're the largest employer in Lakewood, Washington, with 150 employees. So what we do here is pretty dramatic with the amount of personnel that we have. We're very happy to be able to provide Americans jobs. As you can see, we have a variety of machines. We have, the walkie foot, the latest Juki machines. We also have bar tackers, heavy-duty machines for doing our super belt and super straps. So we invest a lot of money back into the company with buying the state-of-the-art machinery in order to provide the quality product to the customer. Everything that Tactical Tailor manufactures is 100% inspected for quality assurance. And how do we do that? Well, the first thing we do is we get an original article. And that's the best one we've ever made of that product. And it comes up here to the inspection table, and these ladies here will study that original article, and then they'll move on to inspect the product, 100%. So if something doesn't make the grade, it goes back into a bin where it's repaired or replaced before it goes out to the customer. We have a 100% lifetime guarantee for workmanship and materials, and we take that very seriously. We have a single-digit return rate, and that's because the dedication of these inspectors and the operators you see behind you on the machines. Not only does the inspections have the original article inspect, they also have the items that go in these things. So, it's a single mag 5.56 magazine goes in that pouch. We have the magazine that actually goes into it, so they can check fit, form, and function. Same with a radio or buttstock or a Writing in Rain book or a pepper spray. Whatever item that it is that we need to make sure fits in our product line, we have the props here in order for them to check it and make sure it works. The devil is in the details with Tactical Tailor's product line. What we want to make sure is everything looks perfect and it acts perfect when it gets on the battlefield. What you'll see here is some trimming work. So any loose threads, anything that has to be trimmed or sub-assembled is done here, and all the attention to detail is focused in this area right here. So that when the person gets the product, whether it's a giant government contract where we're making 50, 60,000 units, or whether it's just one that a soldier is going to get on the battlefield through the APO system, it looks perfect when he gets it, and it acts perfect when he gets it, and it makes it more lethal and more survivable. Don't be shy. I know it's Friday, right? Like I said before, we take a lot of time, energy, and money to make sure that the machinery is right. We train the people properly, and they really understand what the mission is. They understand at the end of the supply line, there's a soldier or a police officer that's going to use this product to save his life and those of his comrades. So each one of these employees here understand what that's about, and quite frankly, we make a better product because of it. And what you'll see up here, I didn't talk to you about before, you'll see the founder of the company right here. This is the first sewing machine that was bought by Logan Coffey, the founder of the company. And that's the #2 assault pack that was made by the owner. And what happened was, #1 is being carried around by a Pierce County sheriff right now, and he won't give it up. I've tried to buy it from him a couple times, and he won't give it back to me. It's just that important to him, and it's a piece that works all the time. So from humble beginnings in a barracks room in Hawaii to 55,000 square foot manufacturing area, that's what we're dealing with now. The second floor of the sewing area is used for training. It's also used for setup. So we set up our sewing lines here and we proof them before we set them downstairs and set them up there for whatever product we're currently manufacturing. So new employee training is important. Getting the experts up here to show what right looks like is important. And also getting the line set up right is important before it's exported downstairs. This is also the home of the Skunk Works, our R&D department. And what you see here is our R&D department is pretty robust. We have 2 people in it, so the amount of new products that come out every year is pretty amazing based on the fact that we got 2 people working on those projects. Don Robinson's our chief designer. He comes to us from an outdoor background. If you squint real hard and look at some of our products and look at some of the commercial products on the shelf today, you'll see that his thumbprint on some of those. But what he's been working on lately is our Fight Light line. So basically what we've done with Fight Light, Don's designed a series of kit that will take 30% off of the weight of the soldier's back. Water's not getting any lighter, bullets is not getting any lighter, nothing's getting any, armor's not getting any lighter. So what can we do to help the warfighter? We can make a kit lighter. We can make the sewn nylon piece lighter. And using some techniques he learned and developed in the outdoor industry, coupled with some military fabrics, we're able to put out a piece of kit that's 30% lighter. And what does that mean? That means if you got 60 pounds before water and ammo, you can reduce that to 48 to 46 pounds using the Fight Light line. And the Fight Light line is, we're going to use a lighter weight fabric, but we're going to backface it with an outdoor fabric in order to give you the same robust performance that you're looking for in a tactical Tailor product. Everything's still warranted for the lifetime of the warfighter, so that he can depend. He knows that if he buys a tactical Tailor product, he only buys it one time. So this is the base of that product, and it's the Fight Light plate carrier. And once again, it's going to be sized for the plate. So if you have a small plate, you have a small carrier, and vice versa. If you got an XL plate, you're going to do that. Because what we found is if we do a one size fits all, it never does one thing well. It does everything else kind of good, but that's not the standard we'd like to deal with here at Tactical Tailor. So we treated the operator like an athlete. We're going to use air mesh in the shoulder, in the places where it touches the body, and we use these molded foam panels to give you some standoff and able to let air circulate in and around the body while wearing the body armor. And then there's a series of 15 pouches, our most popular items, that we used the Fight Light techniques on to take the weight off of them and still have the same type of robust performance that we're used to having. So that's pretty much it right now.